Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Dr. Muhammad Farooq Akhtar, and today we are going to discuss about the very important topic of international marketing, and that is culture. When we talk about culture, culture is actually, according to the scientists, according to the social scientists, it was said that culture is the software of the human mind. It means when we talk about the software actually is a guiding thing which will guide you to do any kind of a behavior. It means it have a certain influence on your mind about the culture and cultural forces. Like, if we can say that what are the compositional forces of culture, we can discuss that history is one of them, that how history is working. Number two is geography, number three is political economy, number four is technology, and number five is social institutions. As you have noticed, or if you are new on my channel, you can check the video number 5. I have talked in detail about that, how the history will influence on your consumer behavior and a consumption pattern. I'll give the link in the description, description of this video. Secondly, how geography will affect the consumer behavior and consumption pattern and employees behavior in international scenario. I have talked in detail in lecture number 6 to 10. In lecture number 6 to 10, I have discussed about natural calamities. I have discussed about the climate and topology. I have discussed in detail about natural resources. I have discussed about the population trends and population dynamics, and we have discussed in detail about the environmental changes, how these things will be linked with the geography of any country. So you can check all these things about history and geography from a previous video, from video number 5 to video number 10, lecture number 5 to lecture number 10. And now I shall talk about the political economy. Political economy is an important element in any kind of a business, in any kind of a business decision. Like, when we talk about the political economy, it means you will talk about the history of you will talk about the issues related to the government. Like, if you see that if your government has a consistent and stable policies on a regular basis, and your government is stable for many years, it means that they have a good chances to create a very good educational policy. They have a very good financial policy. They have a very good economic policy. They have a very good policies related to economy, environment. They have a very good educational policy, tour travel and tourism, and they have a very good consistent and long term basis policies. If but it The main thing is the stability of the government. If the government is stable, then it's confirmed that their policy should remain stable. So if you want to choose any country of the world, it's better that you will have to check the stability of the government and the political economy, because it have a great influence on your business practices. It have a great influence. Like, if you want to understand about the supply chain system, if you want to understand about the consumer behavior patterns, if you want to understand about the employment laws, it means if the governments are stable in that country, it means you may get the stable policies in coming years as well. The next thing is technology. Technology is one of the very influential thing in a cultural norm. Previously, it was not a great interaction with the humans at early, because people normally use technology to solve certain kind of a thing. But currently, technology is one of the most important element and of interaction. People interact with each other. Like, we are talking on a online basis, that I am talking from my home and you are available on the other side, and you are listening according to your own requirement and according to your own ease of time. So it's very technology made things very technology create a lot of changes in the human's behavior. People want to purchase something as per their own requirements. So the online selling pattern, the omni-channel selling conditions, like people like physical options, like people like digital options, like artificial intelligence is there, like we can say that metaverse is there, like we can say that augmented reality and virtual reality, and there all these patterns are very important to understand the consumption pattern in any kind of a country. So while going abroad, it's very important for you that you'll have to understand about the technological forces working in that country, because it will help you to frame your policies as per the requirement of that country, to do and to work very on a very successful business in other country. The next one is again a very important social thing, and that is a social institutions. Social institutions play a very important and vital role to frame a culture and to frame the mind of any human being. Like number one is family. If you are a family is one of the important element of your upbringing. When any person open his eyes in this world, he can found the family members, he can found the brothers, sisters, he can found the mother, father, grandfather, cousins. So most of the time he has spent their early ages in at their home. So these times have certain kind of a consumption patterns they are using. They are performing certain kind of a roles, and a person get a lot of instructions, and person get a lot of attachment from these sources of the family. Like if we can talk about the Dutch family, they people want to live with the extended family system, like in like with grandpas, like with grandmothers, like with fathers, with children, and all these things. If we talk about the American family system, everybody wants to work to meet their expenses. If we shall talk about the Pakistani family system, so in Pakistani family system, or in the subcontinent, most of the people are dependent on a one person, who one or two persons who are working in the field, and mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, and children are dependent on that person. So and male persons are mainly working class in Pakistani family. So you'll have to understand about the family structures, about the family compositions, about, because family has an impact on the perception of the consumer. The next thing, important thing, is religion. Religion has a very great impact. When you every day go to the mosque, when you every day go to the church, when you every day go to the mandir, you will go to the gurdwara, you will go to the shrine, and all these very prestigious places. It means you have a certain kind of a meaning, and you are learning something in your early ages. Your first institution is your family, and your second social institution is your religion. Religion have certain meaning. In Muslims, they have some certain consumption patterns. In Muslim, they have some certain working conditions, and they have some certain cause thoughts in the religious perspective. Like when we should talk about the Muslims, they talk about the halal food, and when we talk about the other religions of the world, they will talk about the different kind of elements in their food condition. So religion matters a lot, and it is a thing that you must study while going abroad. If we can say that, if we can talk about the religions like Protestant, right, when we talk about the Protestant, they feel that they have a direct relationship with God, and when they have any kind of a negative thing on their behalf, they will directly call to their God, and ask to forgive them. But when we talk about the Roman Catholics talk that they have an indirect relationship with God. They will ask their priest, and priest will further ask to their God for their forgiveness. So these kind of things change in different kind of a religion. Different kind of a religions have a different behavior. So being a international marketing student, you will have to understand the religious forces in working in that country, so that you can easily understand the cultural forces and understand their consumption behavior. The next thing is media. Media, as you know, there's a great role of media in this current age. Media create a different kind of a cultural involvement in this in any country. Like when we talk about the media, we shall talk about the print media like newspaper and all these things, magazines. This was something a little bit old, but currently it's also available. When you talk about the detailed information, then you'll have to give it on the magazines and newspapers. Like currently it was practiced by the different educational institutions. When they want to give a detailed information about their study programs, about their system, they will have to give information on the newspaper. But when you want to give a short stimulating video, you will give it on a televisions, or you will give it on a social media. Because so at social media, consumer interaction is a consumer attention is very limited. They will have to see more and more things on a social media, so it's very difficult to give a very detailed picture on a social media. And it's again a very difficult to give a detailed thing on a electronic media. It's possible on a websites, it's possible on newspaper. So everything is alive in the current arena as well. So print media is there, it can influence your behavior. Electronic media is there, which can influence your behavior. And social media is there, which can influence your behavior. All medias have some certain influences on your behavior. In current time, the things are easily transferred from one country to another country. Like if you are living in Pakistan and you want to get some information about the fashion trends in Paris, then you can easily get the fashion trend from Paris, and you can adopt all these things in your Pakistani context as well. So it's very media have a great influence to create the culture and to create and modify the cultural systems of any country. Like if all these things are very important, like media related thing, it gives you a promotional elements, it gives you an advertisement and all these. We shall talk about in detail in coming chapters. The next thing is the government. Government has a great influence on any kind of a country. Like it's not a government is not influenced on the basic level. So most of the time we can say that it is not mainly influenced on your behavior. Media is attached at a very early ages of your children. Your religion is attached in a very early ages of your children. Your families are attached in a very early ages of your children. But media is not attached. Government are not attached at a very early ages of student of your children. They are working at upper level. So the government policies and government involvement, like if we say that in Ireland, Ireland they have a ban on underage alcoholic consumption. Secondly, if we can say in a Dutch countries, it was a ban on a female who are wearing the burqa, like they are covering their whole body. So it have some certain meanings in any kind of a context, for a different kind of a people. So you'll have to understand all these things. The next thing is very important is school or educational system. Educational system have a great impact on your consumer behavior. Like when you talk about the school, when you talk about the colleges, when you talk about the universities, all have very great influence on your consumption patterns and consumer behavior, employment behavior, and all these things. Because the one of the most important and productive and active time any kind of a person given to these institutions, like schools, colleges, and universities. Because most of the time he or she has attached with these institutions, like from 8 to 2 on a regular basis he has to visit it in these educational institutions, even though the persons who are friend working in that school or in that college or in that universities, they are again a friend of those persons. So at evening they will meet up, on holidays they will, on regular basis they have meet to talk and discuss everything. So I believe that school, colleges, universities, education and educational institutions have a great influence on a consumption pattern, consumer behavior, citizenship behavior, and employment kind of a things in a cultural aspect. So it's very important to understand the school system. It's very important to understand the college's behavior. It's very important to understand the university's behavior to work in a great manner. So the number last thing is corporations. Organizations have a great influence on any kind of a cultural aspect. Like if we can talk about the organizations are actually the real change forces, because they will influence and direct the media. Like if they want to add any kind of a innovative product in any culture, they want to make changes in any kind of a product and product specification, they will involve the media and go there and change the mind of a consumer with the passage of time. Like if we can see in Pakistan, and after 10 to 20 years, most of the Pakistani people are engaged with the traditional dresses, with the traditional drinks like lassi and all these things which are traditionally available. But in current scenario, they are more even the rural people are the labor persons who are working on a daily basis, they are too much attached with the Coke and Pepsi and all these things. So all they are continuously making the mind of a consumer to convert their behavior pattern towards others. So you'll have to study about the corporations, because corporations and their involvement with the cultural forces, to understand the consumer behavior of that the host country, to so that you can properly link with them. So it's thank you very much for listening this lecture. Today we have discussed in detail about the cultural and the cultural forces like history, geography, political economy, technology and social institution. You may find two lectures like history and geography from our previous lectures, and we have discussed in detail about the political economy, technology and social institution. Inshallah, in next lecture we shall talk about the Great Hofstede, individualism, collectivism, and all these things. Thank you very much for listening this lecture.